Another Trump-supporting conspiracy theorist has died of the virus that she had decried as fake news. On Tuesday, the Cape Cod Times reported that an activist in Massachusetts, Linda Zuern, had died of complications related to COVID-19. She died at Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston of severe complications caused by COVID-19. According to the report, she was about 70 years old. And yes, she had not been vaccinated. Imagine living in a country that has hoarded pretty much all the vaccines to itself and then has distributed them freely, which is something that you do not hear in this country. Oh my God, actually giving away free vaccine. What's the catch? What's the catch? Well, the catch is the capital owners need people to go out and do capitalism. So yes, you need people to emerge from their homes and go back to commerce. That's why they're willing to give out free vaccines, which do actually work, and why they're not willing to, for example, give out free insulin. And so yes, vaccine's good because it allows people to generally get back to normal. That's good for the business owners. It's good for regular people and our mental health. It's pretty much good for everybody. And besides, we also, through generous subsidies and payments, of course, to these pharmaceutical companies, they already got way more out of the vaccine they would have had they actually put it at a price where normal people couldn't afford it. And so there it is. But anyway, so let me get to some statements here. This is Republican State Committee woman Deborah Dugan talking to the Cape Cod Times saying, quote, "She was a strong woman who believed in speaking the truth and defending our freedoms in America." Dugan was at Zurin's bedside when she died. She said, "I would describe her to people as a little woman, but a mighty warrior." Now, a warrior for what? Well, from what I could see, a warrior for disinformation, for the literal wrong side. And so understand that, like, I don't wake up in the morning wanting to speak ill of the dead, but I'm gonna. Somebody's got to. This woman believed in dangerous conspiracy theories that put her, obviously her, but also her community at risk. And you can get mad at me, you can cry because I point that out, but it's a sad day for you. I don't really care. Go ahead and get triggered. But the fact is that she not only believed, but promoted dangerous conspiracy theories about COVID-19. For example, she shared an article accusing the World Health Organization of a cover-up of the Wuhan virus, that's what she called it, and claimed that COVID-19 is a cover-up for the globalists to usher in UN Agenda 2030. A sustainable development initiative, right-wing conspiracy theorists assert as a plot to create a one-world government, as if that would work. Zurin also expressed support, unsurprisingly, for QAnon, and promoted the use of hydroxychloroquine as a treatment for COVID-19. Gee, I guess that didn't work. And questioned whether officials had looked into preventative measures that people could use besides a vaccine to help build up their own immune systems. That's literally what the vaccine is created to do. Why do something else when vaccines were literally created for that exact very reason? Gee, if only there was this thing that would help us build up our immune system. Yeah, it's called a vaccine. That's what it is. There's more. Peter Meyer, chair of the Board of Selectmen, said Zurin cared deeply about about others. Well, great way to show it. She definitely left her mark on the community. According to the Times, Zurin was one of the first members of the United Cape Patriots, a local grassroots conservative group founded by a man named Adam Lang. Now, the reason I'm giving you that information is that Lang happens to have been one of the 4 people who protested just last week in opposition to the state's Vax Bus program, which distributes COVID-19 vaccines, when it had arrived in Provincetown. So, okay, that's ironic. So this woman had been on a ventilator in a coma since early June. And the guy was like, oh, she's such a great member of the community. He was out there just a couple of weeks ago protesting against vaccinations. for COVID-19. I guess her death meant absolutely nothing to you, you monstrous piece of shit. Had she been vaccinated, it is very likely that she would still be alive to spread terrible conservative propaganda. According to the report, Zurin and her mother contracted COVID-19 while returning home from a trip to South Dakota, a state, of course, where I believe that's where Governor Kristi Noem, who was a Trump fanatic, had been rolling back COVID-19, or not even doing COVID-19 prevention measures. And so now you might think my whole purpose of this segment is to shit on a dead one. Not necessarily. I mean, sure, it sounds like it. But here's the thing. I disagree with people like this deeply on policy. For example, this woman supported ICE. I think ICE is the modern day brown shirts. And I also, but here's the other thing, right? So this person also, to show a lighter side, was apparently working to ensure her community had safe, clean water. And also worked, to increase recycling and, eliminate problems with the local landfill. And so, hey, that's actually stuff I can get behind. Good for your community, good for water, good for the, the environment. Wonderful. But the whole point here is that I want to point out the majority of things that she believed in, thanks to conservative propaganda, conservative media, ended up killing her in the end. And that is a problem that I'm seeing all over. Unfortunately, though, again, this is a sacrifice for the cult of Trump. And the conservative, influencers, people like Candace Owens, Tommy Loren, news media, so-called news media figures, charlatans, snake oil salesmen. Guess what? They're there to make a buck. Okay? This thing is not a hoax. Okay? It kills people. 99% of the deaths, 99.7, sorry, of the deaths from COVID-19 as of late were among the unvaxxed, unvaccinated. And I know people like her would never believe me if she was still alive, because, hey, I'm a leftist that's starting pro-vaccine talking points. Oh, get your Fauci, and oh my God, experimental vaccine and all of that. Oh, not even approved by the FDA. Here's the thing. All vaccines, of course, at one point were experimental. What you're doing when you say that is you're saying, oh, well, I'm not going to take it, and nobody should take it, and we should wait years and years and years and years for the FDA to do this, and while the pandemic rages, by the way. And that is something that's literally never happened. Generally, as soon as we have a vaccine that has been proven effective against things, for example, like polio, they deploy it because it works. This is not supposed to be a victory lap over a dead woman. All right? This is illustrating how being anti-vax is killing people. That's what I'm trying to tell people, okay? Telling people about the danger and imploring them to do the right thing is the only thing that we can do. I'm not going to we can't hold people down and forcibly put a vaccine in their arm. I'd be against it 100% of it. Okay? But what we can do is point out stories like this and say, this is what happens when you don't vaccinate, when you don't trust science. You either die or get permanently injured, or, maybe nothing happens and you go on to help birth a more dangerous variant when you're asymptomatic and get other people sick. And, if you're lucky, you might also waste precious hospital resources. You might get significantly sick, but end up recovering in the end, and then waste your own money because you're dealing with our vicious for-profit healthcare system that people like this love so much because I don't know why, freedom, okay? And you love it so much, you actually fight against universal healthcare, things like Medicare for all, because God forbid something you don't like might actually end up being helped by universal healthcare too. This seems like this is ridiculous. This is like You have people that are seemingly in a death cult, and they seem pretty hell-bent on fucking themselves over. And the thing is, if it stops with you, I guess, right? Whatever, your body, your choice. But it doesn't stop with you. Your decisions end up hurting the rest of us. How many people did this woman endanger in her community because of that ignorance? There's no way to know for sure. You can't go and count the ones that might be sick or asymptomatic in that community. There's no way to know for sure how many people that she's affected. But I can bet somebody's been affected. Okay? Now, the last thing I'm going to say here, especially to conservatives who might be hate watching me, and hey, if you are still hate watching me, well, congratulations on your dedication, because this has been a pretty long segment. What I'm going to say to you is your so-called thought leaders don't care about you. The people that you listen to at Fox News, for example, they're already vaccinated. They have literal vaccine passports to get into Fox News, into the building. Not only that, but you've been seeing some of them literally change their tune in the last couple of days. Steve Doocy, yesterday, just begged his viewers to get the vaccine. Sean Hannity, who, by the way, is too stupid. He's like when you compare him to Tucker Carlson, for example, Tucker Carlson is a grifter. He's smart. He knows his audience. He tells them what they want to hear. Sean Hannity is what we call a true believer. He believes the things that he says. He believes his bullshit, right? Now Sean Hannity believes in vaccine. Suddenly he's saying, I believe in the science. You should get your vaccine. And here's the thing. It's not because anything has significantly changed. The FDA has not, approved the vaccine, so to speak, right? Yes, it's emergency approval, okay? And they're getting ready to do so, of course. But the thing that changed is the stock market took a shit. From the news of the Delta variant and cases going up around the country. That's what happened. That's all it took. That's all it ever takes for conservatives to actually do something. You remember when the first coronavirus aid package came down, and that's the one where the Republicans were like, "Oh yes, coronavirus aid. Let's help everybody. Let's do a stimulus for everybody. $1,200. Here you go. Free money. Take it." That happened when the stonks crashed. That's it. That's what it takes. Oh no, our donors, our owners, our handlers, they're scared. They're afraid. We're losing money now. Oh God, no. Now we're pro-vaccine because guess what? That affects our bottom line. That affects us, the stonks. That's the reality. Understand that if this didn't affect the rich at all, they'd be more than happy to sacrifice you. Remember, the rich, and this is how you know the vaccine works and is effective. Forget all the studies, forget everything else, right? The number one way that you know that a vaccine is effective and safe is when the rich take it first. Rich have already gotten it first. They've already all been vaxxed. They've been vaxxed since, basically since it came out, before it was even available to the rest of us. That's it. They got it first. The rest of us, though, especially the ones, I should say the ones that are anti-vax still, or refuse to take it, the Republicans. You're a dumb sucker. For them, they don't care about you. If you die from COVID, that's more money they can take from your Social Security. I mean, you're not going to need them, right? And they're still trying to find ways to privatize your Social Security money. But that's less money the government has to go and give out later on. Makes it easier for them to kill the program. First, they convince people who are younger, oh, you're never going to see your Social Security or your Medicare benefits. So we might as well just privatize them. And then let the old people die off from COVID-19, like this woman. Let her die. Let her die. That's okay. That's less Social Security you have to pay off. So, yeah, go ahead. Be anti-vax, right? just know that when you're dying, when you're in a ventilator, when you're taking your last breath, that they're going to laugh at you. They're already laughing at you. How stupid you are. How easily manipulated you are with their bullshit conspiracies some dipshit on Facebook pulled out of his asshole. It would be absolutely hilarious if it weren't so needless and absolutely tragic. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.